With just 2 months left to play here in Season 1 of our realistic Borussia Dortmund career mode, we're already close to achieving some of the objectives we set for ourselves at the beginning of the season. We're sitting comfortably in second place in the Bundesliga, 11 points ahead of Frankfurt in 5th, which means we are pretty much guaranteed to finish in a European place this year. We've already made the quarterfinals of the Champions League. We're a little behind schedule with Jamie Gitten's player target, but we still have time to get that one done. And whilst it doesn't look like we're going to win the Bundesliga this season, we are certainly setting ourselves up well for Season 2 and Season 3. And we'll likely find out today whether we'll be achieving our final short-term objective, as we're looking to bring in 8 players with 85 or more potential, and we will be receiving some fresh reports from our scouts shortly. We currently have 6 players in our youth academy, but we're actually allowed up to 16, so we'll be looking to max out that number by the end of Season 1, and then we'll be looking to promote 6 of those players to the first team ahead of Season 2. We will have to wait for this month's report to come in though, and in the meantime we have a number of important games to get to. We're going to travel to Anfield in our featured game of today's episode to take on Liverpool in the quarter-final of the Champions League, where Inter Milan take on Man City, Arsenal will face Leverkusen, and it will be a Real Madrid versus Barcelona derby in the quarter-final. I'll show you highlights of our home leg against Liverpool and our trip to Bayern Munich to take on the league leaders, and then we'll be quick simming our remaining Bundesliga fixtures against Hoffenheim, against Borussia Mönchengladbach, and starting out here today against Freiburg. We did of course poach Merlin Röhl from Freiburg in January, and he starts against his former club here in our opening game, where we come away with only a point, a late equalizer from Freiburg after Guirassy opened the scoring in the 19th minute. And it's a frustrating result because Bayern Munich dropped points against Augsburg, so those 3 points could have gone a long way to narrowing the gap, especially if we managed to beat Bayern Munich later in the month. But we can't afford to get distracted by the Bundesliga here, as we take on Liverpool in the first of 2 quarter-final fixtures. And as I mentioned in the previous episode, we will be moving up to ultimate difficulty for the time being. I have also made some very slight changes to the slider set, which I will share with you in a separate video. And I'm not sure if it was down to the ultimate difficulty, the sliders, or just the quality of the opposition, but this game was definitely more challenging. Perhaps it was a combination of all 3 factors, but Liverpool put us under some pretty intense pressure from the start. They created a number of opportunities both from open play and from set pieces, and they pretty much completely neutered any attacking threat that we had, save a handful of half chances. Thankfully, Liverpool were wasteful with their opportunities. We were actually the team closest to coming away with the win. Donyell Malen putting his shot in the 90th minute just wide, but neither team ended up grabbing a goal, so it did end up just 0-0, and it will be all square heading into the second leg at Anfield. Today's video is sponsored by Enigma Football, the UK's leading supplier of football shirt mystery boxes. Whether you're looking for a fun way to expand your own football shirt collection, or you're looking for a unique gift for the diehard football fan in your life, Enigma Football have got you covered. Their mystery boxes start at just $34.99, which is almost half the standard retail price, and you can be 100% sure that their shirts are authentic because they get them straight from the clubs and manufacturers themselves. And you can reduce that price even further by using code LAMBZY at the checkout for 10% off your first order. That code applies to any single football shirt mystery box, and it also applies to the first month of any mystery box subscription package, where you'll receive a fresh new shirt on your doorstep every single month. You can be sure you'll get a shirt that you like too. You can ask Enigma Football to send you a shirt from a specific league with a specific color or pattern, or to avoid certain teams. And if you still don't like what they send, you have 60 days to either return or exchange it. So head over to Enigma Football and place your order today. The link is in the description, and be sure to use code LAMBZY at the checkout for 10% off your first order. Shout out to Enigma Football for sponsoring the video and for hooking me up with a couple of shirts, including a Dortmund shirt for this series. Now let's get back to the video. And you have to imagine we're going to face an equally tough test as we travel to take on Bayern Munich in a game that could secure the Bundesliga for them. You have to imagine if we're going to have any chance of narrowing the gap and taking the title this season, we have to come away with 3 points here. And this was just as tough a test as the Liverpool game, and a little tougher than that. Bayern Munich opening the scoring through Musiala about 20 minutes into the game. Like Liverpool, Bayern Munich did have the better of the attack and play, but we did actually manage to create a handful of decent opportunities of our own in the first half. But Bayern Munich would have the lead at the half, and they would extend their lead shortly after, Harry Kane making it 2. And as we pressed for a goal to get back into the game, we did put Bayern Munich under some pressure, and that culminated in Daniel Marlin and Karim Adeyemi linking up down the right hand side. Adeyemi grabbing a goal back with about 20 minutes left to play, but we couldn't turn our pressure into an equalizer, and it was actually Bayern Munich who squandered the final chance to put the game beyond doubt. And ahead of our second leg in the Champions League quarter-final against Liverpool, those youth scout reports have finally come in. We've got a number of really interesting prospects available to us, ranging from those that are probably going to be slightly higher in overall, but lower in potential, like Andreas Seidel. Only a 70 to 86 potential, but he's worth a massive 1.5 million euros. Compare that with somebody like George Stevens, who has 77 to 94 potential, but is worth only 650k. The same can be said for Florian Seegers too, only 675,000 euros, but has a massive 84 to 94 potential. And of course, remember, we can't simply sign these players to our youth academy. Instead, we will have to check in with the realistic prospect signing calculator on Buzzko's CoreDNA. And I think the first player we're going to try and sign is Gaspar Dumont. He is a 16-year-old CDM, can also play centre-back, has 72 to 94 potential, so quite a broad range. However, is worth 1.3 million euros, so should have a relatively high overall. And although his attributes don't look particularly impressive, he does have 3 to 6 play styles, which I'm very interested in. Thanks to all the boosts that we are currently getting from our CoreDNA skill tree setup, we do also have a 90% chance of signing him. And indeed, the calculator does indicate success, so we will be adding him to our squad. The next player that has really caught my eye is Theo Proctor, 17-year-old midfielder, can play across the midfield, really 72 to 92 potential, 1.3 million euros, and has 87 pace at 17 years of age, 67 dribbling too, and we're guaranteed at least one play style. We actually have a 100% chance of signing this prospect, so we don't even need to put him through the realistic signing calculator. I'm a little underwhelmed by Seidel's potential, but it could be as high as 86, and at 1.5 million euros, I'm just really curious about his overall. I think it's going to be the opposite case with Florian Seegers. I think we're going to be severely underwhelmed by his overall. Just 53 to 65 the range, and he is worth just 675,000 euros. However, an 84 to 94 potential, and he is just 14 years of age. And with only a 30% chance of signing this prospect, this could be the one that we fail to bring into the squad, and indeed we do. Now, we did of course unlock the special one trait, which guarantees us to be able to sign any prospect we choose once per season. However, with such low attributes, with a similar 14-year-old prospect in our academy already, and with 0 to 2 playstyles, I don't think we need to use the special one on Seegers, and instead we'll release him to the wild. And with our youth academy a little short on defenders, I think we're also going to bring in Jorn Langer, another player who we have a 100% chance of signing, as well as Jaden Everard and Aiden de Groot. So with those additions, our youth academy is looking absolutely stacked. We do have an overabundance of CDMs at the moment. However, I think Jaden Everard will be our only true CDM. At 6'1", 167 with block and bruiser, and at 6'1", 176 with bruiser, I think we'll be moving De Groot and Dumont to centre back. So if we sort by overall, we have a number of candidates who could be one of those 6 players to be promoted to the first team at the end of the season. Theo Proctor, one of the players that we signed today, looks really, really solid. Left midfield, 72 to 92 potential. Has a handful of really useful playstyles. Ping pass, trickster, relentless. Schubert looks decent as well. Charles Massey, still a player that I'm really excited about. 83 to 89 potential with all of those playstyles. Everard, Dumont look like they could be really useful players too, considering the lack of depth that we currently have at CDM. and at centre-back. So we'll check in with our scouts one last time in the next and final episode of Season 1. But for now, we are trying to book a place in the semi-final of the Champions League. So without further ado, let's head over to Anfield and see if we can come away with a win.
Anfield. Enjoy the game.
So some tough decisions in terms of the starting 11 for this one. Anton does return at centre-back. He is fully fit once again. However, Nico Schlotterbeck and Nicholas Söller are each very much lacking in match fitness. Söller to such an extent that he will play no part today. Nico Schlotterbeck will start the game, but whether or not he will finish it is another matter entirely, as Marcel Sabitzer gives the ball away to Cody Gakpo. Nunez starting up front for Liverpool today as well, ahead of Jota, and Andy Robertson is in behind, gets the shot away, parried away by Coble. Thankfully it was Andy Robertson, the man in the box with the ball at his feet, rather than Darwin Nunez, Mo Salah, Cody Gakpo, because Coble able to make the save. But already we have seen the danger that Liverpool can create, as they did in the first leg. As the CPU teams have lunged in trying to block that shot, completely faked out. Coble again parries away. But we are seeing the threat that CPU teams can now create with the upgrade to ultimate difficulty, with the tweaks to the sliders. Daniel Marlin can get a shot away at the other end, and Alisson makes an equally good save. Very bright start to the game for both sides, as Nuri Sahin looks on, and Julian Brandwell prepared to take the corner, which will be delivered towards Anton, and it actually falls to Sabitzer at the back post. Can't get the shot away before Gakpo dispossesses him, and Marlon is thankfully back on the halfway line. Plenty of pace to put an end to any quick counter-attacks. Darwin Nunez is forcing his way through, slips it through to Trent. Both Trent and Andy Robertson already finding themselves in very advanced positions. And what was that from Coble? Absolutely manic goalkeeping there. His handling is very, very poor. I've noticed that on a number of occasions. He's a good shot stopper, but he does not tend to hold on to shots when he makes the save. Doesn't really tend to parry them away from danger either, and instead tends to kind of parry back out into the 6-yard area, or potentially even when he does manage to parry away from danger over the bar, for example, It's on an occasion where you would probably be expecting him to hold on to the ball. This is nicely worked. And we'll look for Max Bayer at the back post. And it will fall to Julian Brandt here, who will get the shot away, and it's blocked by a Liverpool defender. Felix Metscher collects, though, and drives forward, beats a couple of Liverpool defenders, but will just have to return the ball to Benzebaini and then eventually Anton. Max Bayer, the other interesting decision to be made in terms of the starting 11. Guirassy unfortunately sprained his knee against Bayern Munich, so will be injured for the next month. So it is simply and Metscher has to be stronger there. He's allowed the Liverpool player to come through the back of him when he had his body between the Liverpool player and the ball. But it will be simply Max Bayer in terms of a true option up front for us, and we've given the ball away again in a dangerous area. Thankfully, that's excellent defending from Anton. And how is he not offside? How is he not offside? Cody Gakpo puts the ball in the back of the net. I'm waiting for an offside flag. The linesman keeps his flag by his side. And that was a problem ultimately of our own doing. So we gave the ball away in a dangerous area in our own defensive third. But I don't understand how Cody Gakpo isn't offside there. I guess he's made the run at exactly the right time. And some combination of Anton and Schlotterbeck must have been keeping him onside. But I was certain the flag was going to be raised there. Cody Gakpo tapping the ball into an empty net at the back post. And we have already lost our first game of the series here today against Bayern Munich. And we are now currently behind in our second consecutive game. Felix Metscher. Benzebaini on the overlapping run. That's tenacious defending from Szoboszlai, though. And again, we have to send the ball backwards. Zabitzer skips past Gakpo. Finds Ryerson. We really miss Jan Kuto. That's such a good challenge from Andy Robertson. A thumping challenge, but got the ball first. Perfectly fair. But we very much miss Jan Kuto on the right-hand side. We are pretty much asking Ryerson to just fill in that Jan Kuto role. We haven't really changed what we're asking our right-back to do. But Ryerson is just so much less suited to how we want our right-back to play than Jan Kuto is. And it very much shows. Very limited going forward, Ryerson. Doesn't have the pace, doesn't have the dribbling. Just doesn't have the dynamism going forward that Jan Kuto does. Zabitzer once more carrying the ball forward. Looking for Ryerson again. Daniel Marlon made a good run. But I don't just want to gift possession back to Liverpool. It was an incredibly high level of difficulty on the shot. I think we need to take care of the ball. We are going to come away with a win here. It's a poor pass from Jamie Gittins. Trying to find Daniel Marlon cutting in off that left-hand side, but pass simply found a Liverpool defender instead. Ryerson forces the ball down the line to Gakpo. Anton comes across and Zabitzer heads clear inside his own box. Julian Brandt allows Szoboszlai to bring it down, and Cody Gakpo strikes from range. Carried away by Coble. And Gittins will just about get there to work the ball clear. Mo Salah for company, though. Benzebaini. Make the run, Gittins. That is the run. Should be onside here too. And that is offside. I was waiting for an offside flag for the Liverpool goal. I was convinced that wasn't offside. Just took the extra half touch there, Benzebaini, before releasing the ball to Gittins. And the extra half touch punishes us. Mo Salah driving down the right, meeting Benzebaini, who forces him out towards the corner flag, and Salah crosses with the outside of his foot. It's well blocked by Zabitzer. Robinson will collect, and he is offside. A half an hour into this game, we have managed to create precious little. It's kind of been the story of the last handful of games. Liverpool in that first leg, Bayern Munich after that. And Julian Brandt just a little bit isolated there in that number 10 kind of area, in that little pocket of space, but surrounded only by Liverpool players. And that's a rash challenge, I think, from Mo Salah, working back to track that driving run of Felix Metscher. I'm going to do that over and over again. And it's a straight red for Mo Salah. Did not expect that. And I think he might even have got the ball there. Very bizarre decision from the referee. And Arne Slot is furious, and you can understand why. Did not look like a red to me. We do just have the referee strictness set to default as Julian Brandt delivers the free kick into a dangerous area. Marlon at the back post equalises, and once again the offside flag stays down. Disastrous couple of minutes from Liverpool, who not only lose a man but lose their lead as well. Donyell Marlon with an emphatic finish, once again pretty much into an empty net. And this game has turned on its head at Anfield. Nodded back across goal intelligently by, I believe, Jamie Gittins. It was indeed. Found Marlon at the back post. Not quite an empty net, to be fair. But Alisson trying to recover, scrambling across his goal line to get back in position to make the save at that back post. But Marlon fires it past him anyway. Nunez in behind now. Anton there to meet him. And it's a good ball by Szoboszlai. Thankfully, the shot is a relatively tame one on the volley. But as I was saying, I do have the referee strictness on default. And I'm not 100% sure exactly what that means, to be honest. I'm not sure if that's just kind of the basic level of strictness. And obviously, lenient would be lower than that. Strict would be higher. Very strict would be much higher. Or if on default, the referee strictness changes from game to game. I'm not sure if default is variable rather than static. I have my suspicions that it may be variable. Donyell Marlon. Oh my good lord. I have my suspicions that it may be variable. That it changes from lenient to kind of standard to strict to very strict on a game-to-game basis. Because that is not something I would expect to see a red card for. Yet the referee has chosen to give a red card for it. And in previous games, I've seen far worse challenges punished only with a yellow card. And in fact, I've seen challenges about that poorly, not given a card, challenges that poor rather, not given a card at all. So perhaps if somebody knows for certain in the comments, they can let me know one way or the other. But I think default is, as Bayer takes it down, Brandt lays it off to Ryerson, who gets the shot away. It is blocked. Brandt is just going to lift it in towards Bayer at the back post, who doesn't win the header. But yeah, perhaps if you know for certain, let me know in the comments, because I think default is variable. I don't think it's just kind of standard and set to a single standard. I think it changes from game to game. But that's purely anecdotal. Oh, it does just reach Marlon, the through ball. And we're going to loft it out towards Jamie Gittins at the back post, who cuts inside. Benzebaini on that overlapping run. He doesn't venture forward too often, but he has here, and you can see why he doesn't venture forward too often, to be fair. Conor Bradley looks on from the sideline alongside Arne Slot, a player that has been suggested for that right-back role. Of course, we no longer really need a right-back now that Yan Couto is going to be joining permanently in the summer. But certainly would have been an interesting player to add to the squad. And Marlon, again, is in behind. Again, he's onside. Again, gets the shot away. Is parried, not quite away, but up by Alisson. Then punched a little further clear. And it's another poor cross. This time from Ryerson. And again, we see the attacking deficiency of Ryerson there. But since that pivotal moment of the game when Mo Salah got sent off and then we equalised just seconds later. We have had a much firmer foothold here at Anfield. We've certainly had the better of the game since then, and you would expect that. Liverpool a man down, all of the momentum in our favour, and it's a great challenge by Benzabaini, and he finds Jamie Gittins keeping the ball in play. Referee not going to allow us to get in one final counter-attack in the first half, though. Does blow his whistle, and boos sound around Anfield at half-time. Not directed from the fans towards their players, but instead almost certainly directed towards the referee. If you're enjoying the game and today's episode, please take a second to like the video, and if you want to see more realistic FC25 content, be sure to subscribe, not just to catch the next episode of this series, but other realistic career modes, realistic rebuilds, slider updates that might be dropping in the future. And if you want to get ahead of the curve and see those kinds of videos before anybody else, consider becoming a 12th man member of the channel. Membership starts at just $1.99 a month and grants you exclusive early access to all new videos, with tier rewards scaling up from there and including the possibility of being featured in my career mode saves. Thank you to everyone who is already supporting the channel through their membership. It is genuinely very much appreciated and helps the channel to run. But now let's head back out for the second half. So there are already some very tired legs out there as we return out onto the pitch for the second half. And changes are certainly going to be necessary, particularly along the back four here in the second period. I'm not too sure how to approach this second period. We ended up dominating Liverpool in terms of possession in the first half. And a lot of that is going to be down to that final 15 minutes or so of the first half, where Liverpool barely touched the ball after going down to 10 men. And I'm not sure if we want to continue in that approach, maybe even drop into our control tactics and really try and throttle Liverpool. That's another rash challenge. Don't send off a second, ref. Jamie Gittins goes down this time after the challenge from Endo. And it is just a yellow card on this occasion. Was a rash one. I mean, it's not too dissimilar from Mo Salah's challenge. And I think that's the point that Sahin is making now. Arne Slot furious that Mo Salah was sent off. Nuri Sahin furious that Endo wasn't. And there's a clash there between Benzabaini and Alexander-Arnold. Does allow Gittins to profit. Julian Brand has done almost nothing but press today. Has been very quiet in today's episode. Has really struggled to impose himself on games in that number 10 role. And to be fair, Merlin Röhrl has probably actually looked better than Julian Brand in the last handful of games. Ryerson with the overlapping run. He does pick up good positions at the very least, Ryerson. Lofts it in towards Bayer. Nodded down by Brandt though. And again, we will go to Ryerson, who will just pull it back towards Brandt, who gets the shot away, and it hits the stanchion. Doesn't quite wrap his foot round it enough. Doesn't quite pull it back across goal towards that far post enough. Instead gets a bit too much contact. And it just hits the stanchion rather than the back of the net. More promising from Julian Brandt though, as we will press Liverpool high. Try and force them to play through us. With one fewer player to do so, of course. Andy Robertson, another player actually that was suggested in terms of a potential signing. We do need a left back. Benzabaini is actually pretty good. He's actually been solid this year. I think we can do better at left back though. And we've given the ball away again in a dangerous area. Awful shot from Cody Gakpo. We do very much want a player in the Benzabaini kind of mould. A traditional fullback, somebody who will just kind of tuck in alongside the two centre-backs to form something of a back three when we are in possession. And I had no idea Cody Gakpo was so tight to Zabitzer there. Anton comes across, Schlotterbeck the same, gets the block in on Nunez's shot. And Julian Brand will set away Jamie Gittins. Max Bayer with a good run. don't think he's quite going to have the pace or the strength to beat Konate to the ball. He does pick Konate's pocket though, and it's a great save from Alisson, but it's bungled into the back of the net. Max Bayer's shot initially saved, but the retreating Liverpool defender pounces inadvertently on the rebound and sends it past his own goalkeeper and into the back of the net, and it was Wataru Endo, after the initial good save at the near post from Alisson, takes a tumble for his efforts as well, Endo. And sometimes you just have to put it on target. Not a great finish from Bayer, pretty much straight at Alisson. But if you put it on target, you ask questions of the goalkeeper, then sometimes positive things can happen anyway, even if the finish isn't particularly good. And we've seen that there. And now I think we really do drop into our control or even our hold tactics, because with only half an hour left to play, we have the advantage here at Anfield. Schlotterbeck with the foot in, and Kobel just going to have to hook clear. Does manage to do so. And I wondered if that was going to drop in behind Virgil van Dijk. And onto the foot of Max Bayer there for a moment. Van Dijk, of course, as ever, composed. And thankfully this time the offside flag does go up. Kobel had dealt with it well anyway. Gakpo taking the shot on early. But we will make our first changes of the game at this moment in time. So Emre Can will come on, and he will slot in alongside Anton at centre-back. Schlotterbeck, the man to make way. Reluctant to take him off because he is quite comfortably our best defender. But we simply cannot rely on his fitness to see the game out. Oh my God. See the 90 minutes out. Could potentially be something of a liability heading into the final 15 minutes or so. Merlin Rell gets the shot away, straight at Alisson once again. Either side of Alisson, and it would have been a real issue for the Liverpool goalkeeper. But Rell, like Bayer just before him, unable to steer the ball past the Liverpool goalkeeper. And we don't get the same fortune that we did on that previous occasion after the shot from Max Bayer. Bayer potentially going to make way at some point here in the not too distant future as well, but it's fallen to Nunez. How has he been allowed so much space there? Took up a really intelligent position between Anton and Can. Neither of our centre-backs getting tight to him. Can stepping forward onto Cody Gakpo. Anton holding his position. I think that's probably more Chan's fault than it is Anton's, because Cody Gakpo was already being dealt with. We had a defender marking Cody Gakpo already, and we just needed Emre Can just to drift backwards and just kind of stand on the toes of Darwin Nunez. So Liverpool draw level, 2 each at Anfield. Merlin Rell will find Ryerson, who will not quite find Marlon. Again, that would have been an issue on the edge of the box for Liverpool. Merlin Rell well positioned to collect the ball once again from Marlon. Gakpo once more. Anton forces him out to the left-hand side. Gakpo, this time met by Anton, who just has to hook clear. Cody Gakpo gets the foot in, but it will go out for a Borussia Dortmund goal kick. I think we have to try and take advantage here in the regulation 90. So I think we will step up into our push tactics. And we will try to play on the front foot and go and get this winner. Because I think, to be fair, the longer the game goes, probably the more advantage we have with the extra man on the pitch. But I don't really want to test that theory, to be honest. Ryerson finds Rell. And there's Benzabaini up from his left-back position, who strikes from range. And it's a good effort. A very good effort. We said earlier we don't often see Benzabaini venturing forward. But we will see him do so more often in these push tactics because we are chasing the lead. Van Dijk for Liverpool. Out to Szoboszlai. Oh, and Merlin Royal almost cuts that out. I really like Merlin Royal. I think he's going to be such a good player for us. I think he's a ready-made replacement for Julian Brandt if we ever need to sell him. And I think he's a really useful rotation player if Brandt ends up staying. He's very good on the ball. He has surprising pace for a player so tall. Well above 6 foot, Merlin Royal, which even in itself is unusual for a cam. And he's just so energetic and dynamic. That's going to fall for Cody Gakpo, and it does. And Felix Metscher, thankfully, gets there. Finds Bayer, who will find Royal. And he's got runners either side of him. And Jamie Gittins is so far offside, it's not even funny. So if this game does end up going to extra time, we should get another substitution, I believe. So we are going to make all 3 of our final changes here as Karim Adeyemi comes on up front in place of Max Bayer. And we have also swapped both of our fullbacks. So we have Pascal Gross on the right-hand side in place of Ryerson, who ventures forward now. Forces Liverpool back. And then we have a youngster on the left-hand side, Cabal. Even though I've literally just looked at it as I was making the substitutions, I don't remember his name, unfortunately. But he's a 64 overall. But again, this is not a deep squad. Squad depth is going to have to be a priority heading into Season 2. And to be fair, I don't think we'll have anywhere near as many problems in Season 2 with squad depth. We have a couple of players out on loan to come back, like Mokoko, like Özcan, like Koulibaly at centre-back. We have a number of young players to promote from the youth academy, as well as the likes of David Wilhelmsen, Sadiq Adetola, Daniel Buzzko up front to bring back from loan spells as well. And of course, we do have the transfer market. Oh, Marlon. I'm not sure why he's running towards the sideline there, rather than towards the goal line. We are chasing this game. Make a run in behind. And we'll even step up, not only into our push tactics, but into the attacking variant of those tactics as well. As we really try and find this winning goal in the final 5 minutes or so of the regulation 90. Konate for Liverpool. Not sure how much they will want to hang on to play extra time. If they can nick a goal here, I'm sure that would satisfy them greatly. Gakpo. Does look as though Liverpool are just content to hold the ball, though. And they're doing so successfully, to be fair. Szoboszlai finds Endo. Just turns back towards his own goal. Finds McAllister. It is cut out by Zabitzer, though, who gives the ball straight back to Liverpool. Cobra makes the save, and we will just try and find Jamie Gittins on the left-hand side and try and flood players forward quickly here. We will drop the ball into the channel for Donyell Marlin to chase. Robertson gets there first. Marlin picks his pocket and finishes, and we will win the game. Disastrous. We made our own mistake in the first half to gift Liverpool the lead. Liverpool have made their own mistakes at the very end of the game to gift us the win. First, Andy Robertson, lackadaisical as he collects the ball, allowing Donyell Marlin to pick his pocket. And then Alisson just kind of standing and watching as Marlin puts the ball past him. What is he doing, Alisson? And one of the bullet points on the patch notes for the most recent title update for FC 25, several of the bullet points, in fact, were related to improving the goalkeeping. And to be fair, I've seen that from time to time in today's episode. We certainly haven't seen it there from Alisson. Absolutely disastrous. So we will simply drop into our hold tactics as Kogel parries clear. Somebody's got to get there. Kabar is our left back's name. And we will just try and run out these last couple of moments. It's been a strange game. It's been a very strange game. From the very first moment, really. Adeyemi. Merlin Rell. Kenny secure the victory. Not quite. But it's been a very strange game. From the opening goal that we gifted Liverpool to Salah's red card to our equaliser instantaneously after, to Darwin Núñez picking up the perfect place in between Chan and Anton, and then that final mistake from Andy Robertson and Alisson to allow Donyell Marlin to grab the winner. A bizarre game, but it's what the Champions League offers up from time to time. We will come away with the victory. Endo's own goal as well. I haven't even mentioned that. Endo's own goal. Bizarre. Just a strange game. So we will book a place in the semi-finals of the Champions League. Elsewhere around the quarter-finals, Man City overcame Inter Milan 4-3 on aggregate. Arsenal absolutely demolished Leverkusen 6-2 on aggregate. And Barcelona beat Real Madrid 2-1 in the second leg to advance 4-2 on aggregate. So we will be taking on Manchester City. Arsenal will be facing Barcelona. And although those fixtures have already been arranged and the home leg against Manchester City is at the end of the month of April, we'll actually include it in the next episode, and that will be incorporated along with the rest of our May fixtures. So for now, we just have two final Bundesliga games to get to against Mönchengladbach and Hoffenheim. The young left back Kabar actually starts today, as Benzebaini is going to be out. Max Bayer again starts up front. Niklas Söller comes back into the back four alongside Schlotterbeck. And we do only get another point in the Bundesliga. It's been a fairly disappointing episode in terms of the Bundesliga. Sabitzer getting on the score sheet. Possibly even lucky to come away with a point, as Mönchengladbach do miss a penalty in the second half. And that brings us to our final game of the episode against Hoffenheim, where Giovanni Reina comes in for a rare start on the right-hand side, and we do come away with the victory. A convincing one at that. Ozan Kabak, a player getting on the score sheet for Hoffenheim. Benzebaini actually scores in this one. We saw him in a couple of advanced positions in that second Liverpool game. Comes up with a goal on this occasion. Bayer grabs one. Adeyemi grabs one late. So although we have managed to advance to the semi-finals of the Champions League, we actually slip a place in the Bundesliga down to third. However, we do only have 3 games left to play, and we are 7 points clear of RB Leipzig in 5th position. So we are all but guaranteed to qualify for the Champions League again. So I said the next episode would be the final episode of Season 1, but depending on what happens against Man City, that may not be the case. We will play the semi-finals in the next episode, but if we do happen to make the final, that'll get an episode all of its own. So we'll see what happens in the next one. I hope to see you there. Take it easy.